Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back from lunch. I hope you all had a good tummy filling. After lunch is always the hardest slot to speak for. You've got to be enthralling to keep everybody from falling asleep. That's why we have Haavard from Trolltech today. As you know, KDE is built on a giant community of wonderful contributors, and Aaron showed you that block diagram that includes QT.
It's called Qt.
It's called Qt. Well, thank you for informing me. So our next speaker, Haavard Nord of Trolltech. Give him a hand.
Thank you very much. My name is Haavard Nord, Haavard in Norwegian. So I'm the one of the two founders of Trolltech. I'm the CEO of Trolltech. I've been living in Palo Alto for 8 years now, so I'm working at this office, so this is a very nice and short drive for me. First of all, I want to congratulate KDE on the release 4. We've been waiting for that for a very, very long time, like the rest of you. And what I want to talk about today is the special relationship between KDE and Trolltech. A relationship that has resulted in many great things. To illustrate that relationship, I chose a picture of a fish. I don't know if you know what kind of fish that is. Yeah, that's a clownfish, and the clownfish has a special relationship with the sea anemone. The sea anemone is normally poisonous for all other fish, but the clownfish is adapted to swim among the sea anemone, and both of them, they nurture and protect each other. And this is, in a way, how the relationship between KDE and Trolltech works. So I'm going to try to use this remote. Okay, let's forget about the remote. So, back in the heyday of Linux, Linux on the desktop. This was in the pioneering times of Linux. People really didn't use the web. They read Usenet. I read Usenet every day, and I could see announcements coming, like an announcement that came up on 14th of October in '96. This was approximately, I think, around the same time that Google was founded, so it gives you some perspective. And every day there were about 10 projects announced, and lots of people who had great ideas about what they wanted to do, and they wanted programmers to sign up. So there was one such announcement that I read. Let's just check. So the announcement was about creating a better desktop. When you look back at a typical Linux desktop in 1996, it looked something like this. Actually, this is not entirely correct, because more typically you would have Emacs running in another external window. Most people, they wouldn't actually use a calculator, they would use BC. So this was the state of the Linux desktop back then. And no wonder that you didn't have any fancy user interfaces, because look at the development tools you had. These are Athena widgets, and at the time this was the state of the art in user interface widgets. And also, if you wanted to create some custom widgets, that was really difficult. Myself, I'm an old C and C++ developer, and I never embarked on the trip of even trying to learn how to create those widgets. I thought that was way too difficult for me. So no wonder that the desktop was very primitive. So Matthias, he wanted programmers for his vision about the KDE. At the time, he called it Cool Desktop Environment. And this was his vision. He wanted a graphical user interface for end users. He didn't want like a raw X11 UI or a Motif UI. He wanted a system that was easy to use to browse the web, to send emails, read emails, play games, and so on. It all started with Matthias trying to install Linux and a Linux desktop for his girlfriend. And even he had huge problems with that. So the biggest challenge that Matthias saw was that to write a very simple application, just something like this, a hello world type of application, it took about 200 lines of code or even more. And if you wanted to create a real complex application using these frameworks, it was much, much harder. So, in order to create a desktop alternative to what these guys had come up with, called Windows, he decided to use a development tool from these guys. So believe me, we had much more fun than the Microsoft guys. And no, we didn't always drink beer when we programmed, but sometimes it helped. So shortly about Trolltech. To give you a background, how many of you are familiar with the company? Oh yeah, quite a few. So Trolltech is a software. It's a software company built by software engineers. We're really, really technical. The one guy there is Eirik Schambeng, and it's me, and we were sitting on a park bench one day, and we needed to create an advanced application and run it on Windows, Linux, and Macintosh, and we looked at all the development frameworks out there, and we thought they are not sufficient, so we decided we have to create our own, and we had the vision that, okay, we're going to create the best software development tool on the planet. So this is what we started on back in 1994, and many years after today, we are a public company. We're about 250 people working for the company, more than 5,000 customers, and hundreds of thousands of open source developers throughout the world. And we have a bunch of offices around the world. So that's very briefly about the company. And the products we make are, it is a Qt framework. This is our main business. That's 80% of our business. On top of the Qt framework, we created something called Qtopia platform. And using this technology, it's possible to create applications that can run across any operating system and any device. So that's really what Trolltech is doing. Most of our customers, they actually pay us to create applications for Microsoft Windows and not Linux. What sets Trolltech apart from other companies is that we have a unique licensing model. It's similar to the MySQL licensing model. It's called dual licensing. So we have the same product that we license under two different licenses. It's a GPL license. You can use it for free. It doesn't cost anything. The only thing we ask in return is that you share whatever you produce with the community. So whatever you create with the GPL license, it becomes GPL. And then there's a commercial license that does not have this limitation. And many companies, they don't want to write and publish GPL code, so they choose to pay us for the commercial license. So it's very, very simple. Often we use this figure to show how it works. So we are a bunch of engineers. We develop a product. We release beta versions. Actually, we release snapshots every night. Then the community downloads it, tries it out, adopts it, and gives us tons of feedback. So that gives us faster stabilization of the source code than for other typical commercial frameworks, which we then sell to our customers. Our customers pay us, that funds the development, and so on and so forth. So we are funded by commercial companies, like Skype is one example. You also probably know that Google Earth is built using Qt, so that allows Google Earth to run on Windows, Mac, and the Linux desktop. Adobe is also one customer. And that allows us to create this commercial framework and give it to people creating free software. And KDE is there the biggest user. So, so now about the symbiosis between KDE and Trolltech. KDE is extremely important for Trolltech. Without KDE, Trolltech would be tiny tech or something. We would be a very small company compared to what we are today. I can give you some examples. A lot of our customers in the early days, 90 to 95% of our customers, they heard about us through KDE. For the first 6 years running the business, we didn't have any salespeople. We had a fax machine that received orders. We didn't have any marketing people at all. Of course, KDE's adoption of Qt, it gives us lots of credibility in the industry. We are a de facto Linux standard. We get tons of bug reports, of feedbacks, of ideas, suggestions, contributions, and so on from the community that helps make the product a much better one. And it also goes the other way, that we also help KDE. KDE benefits from what Trolltech is doing. So we deliver a commercial quality tool. We have a staff of a little over 100 engineers cranking out code. Also a lot of support people. And sometimes when building frameworks, you have to do the real boring stuff, and not only the fun stuff. And what you often find in free software projects, people tend to gravitate toward what's fun and challenging. Nobody really wants to do the boring work. We have to do that. We sponsor KDE developers. We also have programmers on staff working on KDE. KDE developers, they have a hotline to Trolltech. If there's something that bugs them, if there's something they want to get into Qt, they call up our developer, or actually they email. And we often put features in that KDE need. And they influence the Qt releases a lot. We also cooperate on several projects. Phonon, the multimedia framework, is one of them. Well, as you may imagine, not everybody likes an alliance where you have a free software project teaming up with a company, because to some people, companies are inherently evil. And you know, we see and hear things like that, and people ask us to, okay, the only way I can use your framework is if you give it away for free. Sorry, but that's a business model that's not working for us. It's really good that the framework is a profit center, because then we have a financial incentive to work on it and fix it. This has been working for 14 years now, and I think it's going to continue to work for 14 more years. But there is a danger here. There's a danger that companies could turn evil, that Eirik and I could be run over by a bus, that Microsoft could buy Trolltech and pull the GPL. There's a lot of stuff, bad stuff that can happen. So in order for us to work together with KDE, we have to build mutual trust. This started by us open sourcing Qt using the QPL license in '98. Before that, we had a kind of quasi-free free license. But a lot of people were still concerned that we could just terminate that license or fork, so we would have like a better commercial version. So we designed a poison pill. This poison pill is for ourselves, or if it's for an evil takeover of Trolltech, that says if you stop development of Qt, if you try to sort of pull the license, change the license, this foundation will make sure that Qt gets completely free under a BSD license. And that seemed to settle things. Well, not completely, because there were still some problems with the QPL versus the GPL and license, some license incompatibilities. So we GPL licensed Qt in 2000. And we'll have a reinforced commitment in 2008, actually in about 15 minutes, 10 minutes you're going to hear about that. Okay, so about KDE 4 and Qt 4, I told a lot about the past now and license conflicts and so on. So what does that imply? So I've been waiting to see KDE 4 for a very, very long time. We worked many years on Qt 4, and Qt 4 is a major upgrade of Qt 3. And we were very proud to come out with Qt 4, and we were then starting the countdown. When is KDE going to adopt all of these great features? These are some of the things that KDE 4 can and does benefit from. So Qt 4 compared to Qt 3 it's a major upgrade of the framework. A lot of the framework was completely redesigned and re-implemented. We have a bunch of improvements in many areas, far too many to mention here. One thing I would like to mention, though, is the focus on performance, because, frankly, Qt 3 sucked in terms of performance, not on a desktop, but on low-power devices like phones and mobile devices. And if you remember the slides I showed earlier on the roadmap and how all the products are related to each other, it's important for us to create one framework that lets developers create applications that can run on any operating system, any device, right? So Qt 4 must be fast enough to run on phones. So we've been focusing a lot on performance and increasing the performance, and we still have lots of work ahead of us to increase the performance. And KDE is definitely going to benefit from this. We have a graphics engine that it doesn't even resemble the graphics engine in Qt 3. It's a graphics engine on stereos. Everything that you ever dreamt about is there. It's much improved user interface and theming, things like cascading style sheets. It will make it, and it does make it much easier to customize the desktop. One area that we have been working on for more than a year is we are integrating KHTML. It's now called WebKit. It's a big WebKit project that I think Google is supporting, Apple, Nokia, Motorola, and a bunch of companies are supporting this. So we are merging WebKit into Qt. And we are seeing a future where applications are not only going to be native C++ applications, but we're seeing that they're going to be a mashup of Web 2.0, like Ajax style of programming, and native components. We think that the combination of native and web mashup will create the most powerful applications. So this is where we're headed. Then it's a phone on multimedia framework. is becoming part of Qt in the next release of Qt. Finally, I'd like to mention some of the opportunities that I personally see for KDE, and many of these things are worked on, and many of these things are what KDE is now doing. Some of the things here are there's an industry trend moving really away from just a plain user interface, talking about user experience. It's about how people interact with applications and information. I've seen some of the new user interfaces in KDE, and this is very, very exciting. It's not only about UI and glitzy buttons any longer, but it's how the users interact with the user interface. So that's an area where a lot of innovation can be made. I also hope to see, and I heard there were demos of bringing the KDE experience to any desktop, but also to any sort of device. One of the things we are working on is we're bringing Qt to Windows Mobile, so that potentially KDE could be brought over to Windows Mobile devices. And a third thing would be to expand the developer community. I don't actually know exactly how many of the KDE developers are doing C++, but I suspect it's still the majority, is it? So when you look at the rest of the world out there, there's a bunch of Web 2.0 developers, Java developers. The tools are there. The technology is there to bring this over to KDE. I think KDE could have greater visibility as a development platform for these types of developers. That could expand the developer community a lot. Okay, so we're going to give you guys a pre-announcement. We are coming out with a press release on Monday, and you see it here first. So we have decided with immediate effect to release Qt under GPL 3. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I think actually the snapshots tonight will release Qt under a GPL version 3, and we want to react very quickly to license changes. So this was about the fastest we could do, but I think this will be very good for KDE. It will also be very good for other open source projects. Of course, we will keep Qt license under GPL version 2 as well. And some people are happy to hear that. Richard Stallman, he says, this is a guy from Free Software Foundation. I'm sure you know him. He's very happy to hear that Qt is available under GPL version 3. And he thinks this is great for KDE. So that is really all I had to say today. Thank you very much, and enjoy the party.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Would you like to take some questions, Haavard?
Yeah, that's good, yeah. Turn on the mic again. These were actually his quotes, not quotes that our marketing people made up. Actually, they made up his quote, but these came back.
Hi. At first, let me congratulate with your company. I am following your company from some various years. And my question is very simple. This is about the latest gadget you have. This is about the phone. My question is the phone.
The phone?
The phone.
Yeah.
Where I can take the phone you develop?
You're talking. You were asking about the green phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The green phone we retired already. We made 1,000 green phones and we sold them out to companies doing phone development and some operators. We also gave away a number of phones to free software projects. So we're a software company. We're not doing phones. Being in the hardware business is really difficult. But we have Qtopia also available for the Neo phone. So you can get a Neo phone and you can download all the source code. Of course, Qtopia is also GPL. Neo, yeah, that's an open Moco phone, and that's available for sale.
Speaking about platforms, will or is already Qt for Windows CE under GPL?
So we have a technical preview of Qt for Windows CE. I don't believe that is under GPL. I think we may have a special license there for the preview. I'm actually not sure. Of course, that's going to be under GPL as well. Another thing would be like a PR suicide. Other questions?
Other questions? No?
Okay, thank you very much.